Come on, get it. And welcome.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. She don't get a hug.
No, I'm good.
No, you did?
Jennifer's always hugging.
I always hug you, Walter.
The Reverend and myself met with the Regional Director of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and it was a very important meeting where it became apparent that President Obama is going to have approximately $500 million of government funding available for responsible fatherhood programs.
And healthy marriage.
Right, and healthy marriage programming. So that's
This year.
something, yeah, exactly. So that's something that we have to talk about, because this money could be very valuable in promoting the work that the Reverend does. So we need to sit down and get together as soon as possible, and that I do.
Yeah, but it has to go through a not-for-profit.
Right, like either Fathers Who Care, the Fatherhood Education
which we should just bring them together.
Right, exactly.
I mean, come on.
And the Council on Responsible
Absolutely.
Fatherhood. So we really have to talk and get this moving, because now that we have a president that supports the work we do, let's push ahead and try and make some change in America.
Show with your host, attorney Jeffery Leving.
This is Jeffrey Leving with the Jeffrey Leving Father's Rights Legal Show, and it's great to be here again on another important Sunday. And today we have Reverend Walter Jones here as a guest on the show. Crazy Howard McGee is taking this Sunday off, but he'll be here next Sunday. But it's an honor and a pleasure to have Reverend Walter Jones, who's a close friend of mine. We've been working together for many years, promoting responsible fatherhood. And Reverend, it's great to have you on this radio show, especially after the empowerment forum you put on yesterday that I participated in.
Yeah, thank you so very much, Jeffrey. It's always a pleasure to be back and to the safe harvest of what you do.
Well, thank you. And the empowerment forum yesterday was at 3333 West Arthington, which is in Chicago, west of the Loop, and it was sponsored by yourself, and I'd like to thank Congressman Danny K. Davis for his support. And after the event, it was a pleasure to speak to the congressman about important federal legislation he's supporting, which I hope I'll be testifying in support of in Washington, D.C., focused in part on fatherhood issues. So it was very important for me to have spoken with the congressman yesterday, because I hope to help promote responsible fatherhood, not just on a state level, but on a federal level as well. And I also would like to thank Senator Lightford for her support of the event, and attorneys Anthony DiAugustino, Maureen Gorman, who participated in the event, and Bill Dowling. Bill's a nice guy out of court, but in court he's an animal. I hate to have a case against him, but it was nice to have him show up, to have all these attorneys show up, and actually, Reverend, your Reverend was there.
Absolutely.
And it was
absolutely. It was an excellent event. I mean, the whole event was created to bring about some healing and restoration in relationships. Of course, our major thrust is to try to empower indigent families, but of course, in doing so, we do know every now and then we have to bring events together where we can try to encourage healthy relationships.
All right, caller, you're on the air. This is Attorney Jeffrey Leving with Reverend Walter Jones. And what can we do for you this Sunday?
Yeah, does it seem fair that if my child's mother doesn't let me see my kid, I still have to pay child support?
Well, sometimes what's moral and ethically right legally may have no significance. Unfortunately, by law, child support and visitation are not related. If the mother cuts your visitation off, your best legal strategy generally is through a courtroom. In Illinois, visitation interference is a crime. She can go to jail on the third conviction. I co-authored the law on visitation and parenting time interference, which turns it into a crime in Illinois. So you need to go through the court system, and if she doesn't want to comply with a valid court order, she can end up in jail. So handle this legally. if you stop paying child support, then you'll fall into the trap that's probably being set, and you'll be the one in jail. So if you owe child support and you stop paying because you're not getting visitation, you probably will be prosecuted. So that's the wrong maneuver. And I'll be glad to send you a free copy of the law criminalizing visitation and parenting time interference that I co-authored. Just dial 312-356-DADS. You could ask for me, Jeff Leving, or if I'm not in, ask for Flo, and she'll send you a free copy of the law. That's 312-356-DADS. That's area code 312-356-DADS. And also, next Saturday, I'm going to be lecturing in part on this topic. Next Saturday, March 20th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at a conference which is entitled You Are Not Alone. And it's stemming from an original conference I participated in earlier. And we're going to have speakers, educators, performers. It's going to be at the Carter Woodson Public Library at 9525 South Halsted Street in Chicago next Saturday, where I'll be lecturing on this topic, as well as Dr. Martin, Diane Martin, we're going Reverend Moore, and others. It's a very important event, and the only thing that can make it work even better would be if Reverend Walter Jones participates, because he has a passion for this work, and I'm hoping to talk to him about this after the show. But keep in mind, your rights are important. You have to know them, and don't end up a target looking for an arrow. If you stop paying support without getting a court order abating support, you'll end up a target looking for an arrow. And thank you for calling, caller.
Yeah, Jeff, thank you so very much for another opportunity. I would be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity to thank all the panelists, along with yourself, who participated in this men and women empowerment forum yesterday. Of course, Dr. Marshall Hatch, Dr. Michael James, Dr. Alicia Lahore, Patricia Bates, and Yvette Moyo. So I had to give those individuals an acknowledgement.
And the last person you acknowledged actually is involved in putting together Real Men Cook every year.
Absolutely. She's responsible for the Real Men Cooks charity, as well as the activity Real Men Cook.
It's a great event. Last time I was there, we had Reverend Jesse Jackson, and the food was fantastic. Congressman Danny K. Davis was there, and I did an interview with the Congressman and Governor Quinn on Power 92 with Sean Knight. It was a great event.
Absolutely.
Between promoting this important cause and eating healthy food, because there's a lot of great healthy food there,
And a lot of unhealthy food as well.
yeah, well, that's true too. And since I have diabetes, I just stay away from that.
But it was an excellent event.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I would like to echo just some other things that we were doing. We got this annual Expo for Today's Men coming up June the 5th, 2010 at Malcolm X College. So I would hope those who are listening to the show today would mark their calendars to plan to attend the 10th annual Expo for Today's Men at Malcolm X College, 1900 West Van Buren. And if they want additional information, they can feel free to get in touch with you, of course.
And this is going to be very important, because this June is the 100th anniversary of Father's Day. It's going to be a very significant Father's Day, and I'm proud to be involved in working with you, Reverend, in this event, which we've been working on and putting together for about 10 years.
Yes, this would be the 10th year.
Yeah,
We've been doing
time
it 10
flies.
years, Jeff. 10
Jeez.
years. 10 years.
I can't believe it's been that long.